Luke chapter 6, verses 1 through 5. One Sabbath, Jesus was going through the grain fields, and his disciples began to pick some heads of grain, rub them in their hands, and eat the kernels. Some of the Pharisees then asked, "Why are you doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath?" And Jesus answered them, "Have you never read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God, and taking the consecrated bread, he ate what is lawful only for priests to eat. And he also gave some to his companions. Then Jesus said to them, 'The Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath.'" Well, he very much put them in their places there, didn't he? In Jewish legal tradition, it was effectively forbidden to harvest on the Sabbath, and rubbing the heads of grain between the hands was one method of harvesting outlined in the law. So, in the eyes of the Pharisees, what Jesus' disciples were doing here was illegal and a violation of the Sabbath. Now, that said, God's law also instructed field owners to leave the edges of their fields unplowed so that those who were passing by, those who were poor or in need, etc., could eat of the crops on the edges of the field. So, in so doing, and with respect to God's law here, the disciples were, in fact, not in violation of the Sabbath. And Jesus reminded the Pharisees of this by invoking a well-known story of David in which he and his men ate some of the consecrated bread set aside only for priests, called the bread of the presence, when he was fleeing from Saul because he was hungry and his men were in need. So, if the Pharisees were wishing to condemn Jesus' disciples for this, he was letting them know that they would also have to condemn David as well, which of course they did not want to do. So, he was effectively letting them know that human need was more important than human or ceremonial regulations. And then, finally, he put the last nail of the coffin here when he said that the Son of Man was Lord of the Sabbath, by which he was letting them know that he had the authority to overrule the Pharisees' traditions and regulations, because quite literally, he had created the Sabbath, and the Creator, especially in this case, is greater than the creation.